Mezo Chaka lo councillor Ward 48 silapha namhlanje kule launch yokulayithwa kwe-internet Ward 48 isiziswa i-ILITHA Technologies phansi kwexesha kukamnumzana uVuyani Jarhana izowuqala apha Ward 48 kwi-ISPs internet service providers ezikhoyo izowuqala yona apha Ward 48 yenza umsebenzi omhle kakhulu from the inception of the project itself. They started in the first week of February ngokusebenzisana ne-stakeholders ezikhoyo baqasha massively abantu bokuhlala balapha ewadini bencedisene ke nathi norhulumente okhoyo ukulwa intswelangqesho nokungabikho komsebenzi nendlala. Baqasha abantu bancedisa abasebenzisana nazo ne-SMMEs. Not only that, but the product itself, the quality of the product itself, it's unmatched and it's unparalleled. Nokufumaneka kwayo is easily to use. But there's a benefit enazo apha ekuhlaleni. Number one, no longer shall abantwana bethu apha ekuhlaleni ngoku bakhwele baye kuma-libraries kude nakuma-town for research bazenzela ngokuba bezindlini research. Abazali abangayazi lo mcimbi we-internet kusondezwa ngokwihlabathi lisondela apha eWard 48. So zizinto ezinhle. And not only that, but there are also some corporate social investments that ILITHA has done in the ward incedisana noluntu apha ekuhlaleni. So sonwabile kakhulu ke thina ke and okusenhliziyweni yami ke when you take care of the most impoverished and the most marginalized within the community abo bantu bakwa-Ward 48 ugqibile inhliziyo yami ugqibile inhliziyo yabantu bakwa-Ward 48. So we were saying big ups to ILITHA. For us, this is a launch of a bigger things yet to come. It's a launch of a healthier lifestyle. It's a launch of a more educated black child. It's a launch of proximity of Ward 48 to the city center and to the world of connectivity at large. So we're very happy as the ward.
So we are now moving on to the second part of the program as we get into the messages of support from our various partners and supporters. And first up, I would like to welcome Mr. MDANTSANE, who is the president of the Black Information Technology Forum.
Vijay, we are here today to use our presence and our physical bodies to pledge our support to you as a person and everything that you are all about. We're not giving you this support because you are just the one that has been chosen. It is because that you have earned your spot under the sun. The attendance here, more especially from your family, really talks to the importance of your contribution and your patriotic character as a person. I just want to take you a memory lane, remind you on some of the stuff that we've done together as a sector to transform our society. Many may not know that you started in a very humble journey by becoming the head of Vodacom here in the Eastern Cape. You were just not about targets, you were just not about commercials, but you made sure that you knew that your role in society is to make an impact into the lives of our people. When President Mandela talked to Eleanor Craig, giving him a call to intervene to some of the social challenges that technology can intervene on them here in the Eastern Cape, you were in the front line, working with Eleanor Craig, working with President Mandela. You have not turned your back to the wishes of Madiba in making sure that technologies are used for the good of communities. When the Eastern Cape government needed people to roll their sleeves and help in designing the ICT strategy for this province, where government had no canonical direction in understanding where they want to go, you put your hand up as the industry. I remember those cold Sundays at the CETA offices when we were crafting that strategy. We delivered that strategy as sector to government. It is the same strategy that took the Eastern Cape government into the 2010 World Cup and making sure that our people are connected. Wherever they are, they've got access to technologies. When you were called to go to Aero Park, we were there with you. We got into that aeroplane with you. We folded the trays. We put on the safety belt, but we knew we were on an aeroplane. It may get bumpy, it may get tough. We did not jump the plane. We stuck there with you. Those long Sunday calls where we talk about what can we do as professionals to make a contribution to our country. Today, you are demonstrating that exactly from where it all started. So we salute you, Vijay, and Fundisi was correct when he said that everything that you do has to have context. You are correct when you say, Vijay, we know nothing else. We know this industry. We spent over 25 years here. We know everything about this province. We know everything about this country. There's a nice quote I like of a great revolutionary, Frantz Fanon. It says, each generation must discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it in relative obscurity. Uthumadiba nxa ethetha iza kunceda ntoni na into ozenza mncinci uthi makuphakama abanye abantu kuthethe bona when God has given you purpose. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. We've got to do it now. Madiba in his book talks about those beautiful valleys of Konu. He says he takes a beautiful walk, and as he walks through these valleys, he climbs a lot of hills and mountains. And he looks at the vista. He knows that the journey is not finished. There are many more hills to climb. But it's not impossible until it's done. So we're here with you and your team, Vijay, to say that it's a pleasure and an honor for us, my brother, to see you digging in the streets of township. We saw people who are not of our descent trenching in these communities, and we often wonder, when will our own be connected? There is no single estate in this country that's not connected, but our townships are excluded. And I want to end by demonstrating it in this example. Today, children in Malamulele are writing a grade 12 exam. Children in Guguletu Township are writing a grade 12 exam. Children here in Selborne, an established community with all sorts of Wi-Fi and connectivity, children in Summerstrand and Port Elizabeth, children in Kempsbane, in Cape Town, are writing a grade 12 exam. It's the same paper. There's no exam paper for rural children. There's no exam paper for township. It's the same paper. They are marked equally so. But systematically, they're excluded because they don't have access to connectivity. Minister, we are heartwarmed to see you here. You are our hope, your energy, your zeal. We see you, Minister, and your team communicate the great work that you are doing as a department. When we look at that, we know that our people will not be excluded. Our children, when they go to universities next year, they are not going to refuse to visit umakhulu ezilalini because there is no Wi-Fi. Abafuna ukuya kwamakhulu abantwana bethu because the minute they go to ezilalini, they get excluded. It has to come to an end. It is in our hands. We wish you well. We wish you all the best. We are going to work with you again in this journey. If it works, it works. If it collapses, it collapses. And what's wrong with the failure? We great entrepreneurs know that. Thank you so much.
My name is BcmTv from an organization called the Black IT Forum, and also run a company called Imbizo Group, which is invested in ICT and also in television. We've got a television channel on DSTV. And so we are here to support a colleague, Mr. Vianney Jachana, in his initiative of making sure that our communities are connected. It's a very great initiative. As you know, that data is the thing that everybody looks to make sure that they can secure. And when you bring access to connectivity into our township, it's very encouraging because then everybody can have access to information and they're able to network with friends via TikTok, those who are on Instagram, social media, and those who are studying, they can also use the internet for research work. You know, it's very, very important. You know, people can take this for granted. I'm going to make a simple example in the context here. One of our businesses is an internet cafe. It's in a mall next to a township. Internet cafe is data heavy. You'll be surprised the amount of money we make from people who want to access the internet, who want to print CVs, who want to do home affairs related stuff. SMMEs here can set up easily now internet cafes because they can get data bundles at an affordable price, which gives them an opportunity. You know, back in the day, we used to watch videos. We used to go into a house, it's got a garage, you watch Chinese, cowboys. Guys can now set up YouTube film studios right here, yes, leveraging on the excess of data. I get paid by TikTok for referrals, for pushing content. I mean, it's between 3 Rand and 21 Rand. I do that thing casually, don't have time to do it, but I make money out of it. Imagine stories that can come, TikTok's short videos that can come from here, just on the life of people from here. So people have got to think differently from spaza shops now. When you think township opportunity, you don't think spaza shop anymore, or a funeral parlor.
Or a tavern. Or a tavern.
Or a tavern, yeah, right? So you think about the new businesses that access to data now brings today. And they're very informal. I mean, there's a lady that sells fat cooks, is on TikTok. She's got over 21,000 followers. You can imagine how much she's making if TikTok pays her between 3 Rand and 21 Rand to do that. And these are people who do this thing full time, but they make it funny by telling the stories where they live. So these are things where I think we must change the mind. Content production, that's where the money is now. So these are things that I think we must all think and influence young people to do. Most especially those who are under 35. I think there's a lot of sense there. And that's where we should be thinking. Even guys who do events here, amazing what you do with the internet for eventing. And when you've got now a bundle that's affordable, the ball is in your court.
The head of infrastructure with the IDC. IDC invests really in different sectors such as mining, infrastructure, energy, agriculture, small business, tourism, automotive, textiles and chemicals. I know some of these industries exist within the Eastern Cape, especially around automotive. IDC has set aside 11 billion Rand for infrastructure investments in the next 3 years. And by infrastructure, it is in telecoms, water, and logistics. Our relationship with ILITHA started really about over 18 months ago, and it has been a very long journey, not an easy one, Mr. Jachana will tell you. And through this partnership, we then eventually settled on project development funding for the project. And I say it's a partnership because we will walk the journey with ILITHA to ensure access to internet for the people of MDANTSANE and South Africa at large. And through development, this project will create jobs, direct jobs, education, access to education, as well as skills development for the fourth industrial revolution industry that we are facing as I suppose as the world. And lastly, I would like to say congratulations to the ILITHA team. Silinqwenelela impumelelo nokuhle ngalo msebenzi ongaka. Thank you.
Up next, may I please welcome Ms. Zodwa Mbele, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Development Bank of Southern Africa.
So today really we are gathered here to really offer a message of support to ILITHA. And I must say that when the DBSA was approached by the team about 2 or 3 years ago, we were very much excited as a bank at the prospect of making our own contribution towards the alleviation of digital inequality. But also it was also giving us an opportunity to advance our mandate in terms of promoting economic development as well as job creation, and other economic spin-offs that come out of it. But also importantly here, it's also to support the BE participation in the mainstream economy, specifically in this digital digital technology sector. We know that the players who are in this space are very few, and they also have deep pockets. So it was really important for us and giving us that opportunity to make our mark as a bank. Now, as Nina has already said as well from IDC, that the journey has not been that easy. It was, it's a journey that that has not been without bumps and potholes along the way. However, today I'm happy to say that despite those potholes that we'll continue to have along the way, the bank approved 6 million first for the project development, the bankability part of the project. Once the project had been proven to be bankable, then the bank had approved another tranche, which is quite a sizable tranche of 300 million, and it's not going to fail. I know the other previous speaker, Mr. Motse, said that if it fails, it fails. It's lessons learned. For us, it's going to be big lessons learned with the 300 million tickets. So it's definitely not going to fail. We're moving forward. So yes, we have reached an advanced stage in providing that. So we are just working on the few, crossing the T's and dotting the E's on that one. So we should be reaching financial close. And that is earmarked to what Vianney had spoken about earlier on the rollout for KwaMashu. So we hope that the 60,000 connection of KwaMashu will be realized soon, whilst, concurrent to that, this 45,000 of MDANTSANE township will also be happening. So really, for us, we are excited as a bank to be part of this momentous occasion. And we, working with the BE sponsors, it's something that is, at least even at a personal level, you've spoken about the purpose earlier on. For me, if we are at the bank and you are not making any change or any difference, or to BE companies, I don't think we're playing our developmental role. So I'm very, very much proud. When we got this invitation, I made sure that I put certain things aside so that I'm part of it, because I really do want to see success when it comes to BE companies. And strange enough, not long ago, last month in October, the very same 2nd, I think if I remember the date, we came here in Eastern Cape, by the way, to launch the RH hospital, the hospital RH, what is the name of it specific? Royal Buffalo Hospital, private hospital, which is also sponsored by other BE players. And we are really, really happy, when we see progress, making milestones in respect of supporting BE entities. So yeah, we look forward to have a very fruitful relationship. This is not the end of it. Minister, if you can open more of the sites, especially the SA Connect, you can contribute. And these are the entities really we want to really support as a bank. We see very few of them, especially in the ICT space. So if we can see more of that, we are really ready to sign the check, obviously do the due diligence, like we've gone through that pain, and move forward. So I wish you all the best in your journey as you roll out beyond Guamashu, by the way, and move on to other townships. And I really thank you for your attention.
My name is Zodwa Mbele. I'm the group executive at the DBSA. So today we are here to offer a message of support to ILITHA Communications. So our journey really started a couple of years ago with them, and we're happy to say that we have finally provided the long-term financing to the company in order for them to roll out the infrastructure in the telecommunication sector in Guamashu specifically. But we are also pleased with the work that they are doing here in MDANTSANE, which they will replicate to eThekwini. As a bank, we are also excited about being given an opportunity to promote economic development through entities like ILITHA Telecommunications. We also know that the jobs will be created out of this endeavor. We also know that there will be other economic spin-offs coming out of this. But what is particularly pleasing is that the company is also driven by the BE parties largely, who participating in the mainstream economy. We know that in this particular sector, there's few major players who are playing in and with very deep pocket. So entities like ILITHA Telecommunications will not realize their dreams unless they partner with institutions like ourselves of the Development Bank of Southern Africa, who have patient capital, who have a risk appetite that can sustain long-term period of financing.
Up next, I would like to call on a representative from the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform, Ms. Xoliswa Skondo, who is the head of IT.
Thank you for the invitation as the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development within the Eastern Cape. It's an honor for me to stand on behalf of the Eastern Cape Province, the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform. The leadership is thanking you, Honorable Minister, for hosting this memorable event. I was reluctant when I was asked to come here, knowing the magnitude of this event. But then when the HOD said, go, this is Mr. Jahana doing this, and I thought, why not? Our own very son, the son of the soil of the Eastern Cape. If you remember, Honorable Mvoko, we have a challenge, a brain drain within the province, and the Premier is always indicating that we get a smallanyana budget as a result, because people of this province, they migrate and move to other provinces for greener pastures. So if Mr. Jahan is able to change this narrative, to be hands-on and lead the way in ensuring that the youth of this province, there are opportunities here. Thank you, Mr. Jahan, for showing the young people of this province that it is possible. So now, as the department, knowing our very own role, being the drivers of the economy of this province, we have a huge responsibility of ensuring that the youth, the designated groups of this province, are not marginalized further. Bishop made mention of places of no communication. Can we do that using our ICT and address this issue of having Eastern Cape being called a place of no communication. As the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Agrarian Reform, we extend a warm welcome to this initiative and we support it fully. This investment reflects the continued confidence that this province has in terms of opportunities in furthering digital inclusion. This will ensure that those designated groups that were marginalized in the past will now get things that were not possible in the past. Thank you for that. The high priority of this province, driven by the Honorable MEC Mvoko, is to drive economic growth. Dr. Da, the Department of Agriculture, is the champion of such priority with other players, your mining and your manufacturing. So as the sector, which is formally quite a manual or labor intense, if I may put it like that, the youth currently is not that into agriculture, not because they don't want to, but the technology or other means of driving this are not there at this present moment, or if they are there, they are not affordable. I'm happy that you are bringing on board something that will be accessible now to our youth to drive this mandate of agricultural rural development. Thank you for that. Rural development, Honorable Minister, Honorable MEC, needs to be made more efficient in the wake of shrinking fiscus. The budget ayikho, but technology is going to assist in this regard. We want agriculture development to be accessible to ordinary citizens. Following the Presidential Commission for IR, Honorable MEC, this initiative today is one of those implementation of strategies that have to follow now to say, President, we are on board. We need more initiatives like these ones. Partnerships in the digital space. Currently, we have these big names that you've made mention of, some with their own challenges. Would also love to have them. Technology currently is not locally manufactured, and as a result is expensive. My name is Xoliswa Skondo. I'm the head of IT in the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform in the Eastern Cape. I'm here to join this initiative, this enormous event that brings change within this province, where within the space of agriculture, it's something that we've been looking for in terms of changing the plight of this province. Agriculture, if you remember, is the driver of economy within the Eastern Cape. We need infrastructure of this nature. A ILITHA initiative will bring that, will bring youth on board. We are modernizing agriculture for it to be attractive to the youth, to women, and everyone. We want change for this Eastern Cape.
Thank you. Thank you.
Muy bien cantado. ¿Te ha gustado la calidad de esta canción?
Moving swiftly through our program. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call up on stage the Honorable MEC Mlungisi Mvoko. And he will be giving us an address on digitizing the Eastern Cape.
A total of 2,700 broadband sites have been designed as part of the project's 3-year rollout. To date, 635 sites identification and feasibility processes have been completed. There is no doubt that its success will be responsible to a dire need for a meaningful digital transformation in the Eastern Cape province. The East London IDZ Science and Technology Park has been an important vehicle in the creation of an impactful environment for innovation and growth. The project has 4 initiatives, and those are hackathons, incubation, skills development and training, as well as new technology investigations. Training provided included intellectual property, digital marketing, Python programming, systems thinking, and AutoCAD or AutoCAD. I was very happy when Mr. Chahana mentioned to me that they are working with the East London IDZ, the Science and Technology Park, because it is one of our pride in the province. The skills development audit, which was completed 2 years ago, has assisted us to expand on initiatives, particularly for the ICT space. The audit unleashed a gap for skilled labor, particularly in the ICT sector. The increased demand for skilled persons opened an opportunity for the East London IDZ Science and Technology Park to partner with players in the space. The digital economy and knowledge economy require high-skilled labor, and the Eastern Cape needs to strengthen its knowledge base. One such partner is with Cisco on their Edge Center, which is located at the Science and Technology Park in the East London IDZ. They have a center fully equipped with advanced technologies that can be used by the youth. They offer incubation where they expose youth to advanced global technologies. Illustrating the significance of the internet in the life we live, one British entrepreneur that we all know, Richard Branson, once said, "It is worrying to think more than half of the world's population lacks internet access and therefore lacks an equal opportunity to improve their lives," close quote. I wish to once again relay a word of gratitude to ILITHA Telecommunications for their decision to connect our communities to optic fiber network here in MDANTSANE, and we wish you well in your mission to connect millions of South Africans so that the poor and the rich can have equal access to internet. Thank you very much, Program Director.
I'm sure Comrade Mlibo will then translate what they were saying. Molweni, Bishop Mbete of the Methodist Church of Southern Africa, where I come from, bishops don't retire. MEC of Finance and Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism in the province of Eastern Cape, Comrade Mlungi Simfoko. The Deputy Speaker of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, Comrade Mlibo Tloboshiane. The Chief Executive Officer of ILITHA Telecommunications, Mr. Mr. Vuyani Chahana. The President of the Black Information Technology Forum, BITF, Mr. Mutsim Fulen. Councillor Jaka of Ward 48 of the Buffalo City Metro, and the Premier of Ward 48, and the Mayor of Ward 48. Representatives of the Development Bank of Southern Africa and the Industrial Development Corporation. Am I the only one who was blown up by the South African tenors? I didn't hear you ululate. And it was too quiet. I felt like I'm in the opera room and people are just listening. But I thought it would be ululating. And I was telling Mr. VJ that I'm more excited than he is. Because I was dancing along. I don't know people who saw me moving along. And this is because during the 2022 State of the Nation debate, I reported that the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies will commence with the rollout of the second phase of the South Africa Connect, commonly known as SA Connect program, with an expanded scope to connect communities. Because the first scope did not connect communities, it was only connecting government departments. So, Tina Sila, congratulate ILITHA Network for the launch, but also celebrating our goal of connecting all South Africans is happening. Ngoba ILITHA ulaunchile network MDANTSANE bazoya futhi bayolauncha eKwaMashu in KZN, sizohamba nabo sibancedele and sizobapartnerisha kule program yethu ye-SA Connect, because ku-SA Connect sichange umodel zathi asenze isento e-government sizoyenza ne-private sector ama-SMEs, so sizobafaka bo-ILITHA nabanye bafana nabo who are operating or who are running networks in townships and rural areas.
I think this just speaks to the power that is in this room, the impact that is in this concept, in this initiative, and in what it is that we are doing here. To all the partners and everyone involved, I think let this be an encouragement to where we are taking this community, where we are taking this country, and just the future of what we have, the gold mine that we are sitting on, which is our people and the great minds and innovation that we have.
ILITHA sithathe isigqibo sokuba sifake i-broadband kwi-location in the townships and rural areas kuba sibonile okokuba abantu abahlala ezilokishini nasezilalini abafumani equality ye-broadband ngendleko ezifaneleyo. Into eyenza ithethe ukuthi abantu abaninzi abakwazi uaccessa ukuyifumana i-internet. Siyazi ukuba kufundwa nge-internet ngoku, futhi ukufuna umsebenzi funeka ube kwi-internet, i-internet ekwizinga elifanelekileyo. Sithe ke xa sibona le nto sathi masifake i-fiber to the home apha ezilokishini zethu. Sisagqiba senze abantu babayikwazi uyithenga ngokungaphandle kwe-contract on a prepaid basis. Futhi bayithenga ngosuku uba ufuna usebenza namhlanje ufuna ukuthenga ngosuku. Ufuna usebenza ufuna uthenga eveki uthenga eveki, ufuna uthenga enyanga uthenga enyanga. Uthenga ngale mali unayo ngokweentsuku osifunayo. Sesenza loo nto ke. Okwesibini ke siye saqonda iifemeli azilingani. Kukho abantu omnye kwakhe one-device eyi-one, abanye banee-device ezintathu, abanye banabantu bathathu phaa kulaa family, abanye ke baninzi. So senze ke ii-packages ezilungele abantu ngabantu. Uba uhlala wedwa uyawubhatala R3 ngosuku for unlimited internet access. Uba nibathathu mhlawumbi nine-device entathu ubhatala as low as R5 per day. So if you commit to over the period of time, then uphinde ke ngoku i-service egcweleyo up to 10 devices ubhatala i-R10 ngosuku. So yinto ke enje uba siqiniseko okokuba i-access kwi-internet i-affordable. So senza loo nto ke apha sinethemba kokoba xa sitreyina abantu kwizikhono zobuchwephesha beteknoloji edigital bazawukwazi abantu bafumane imisebenzi. Umzekelo bakwazi ukuchwepheza behlele emakhaya basebenzele ikhampani ngekhampani, bakwazi ukufundisa isilungu kubantu bamazwe ngamazwe, le nto kuthiwa teach English first language remotely, barhole imali. Zizinto ezizakwenziwa zilungiswa yile nto ye-broadband. I-broadband icreata amathuba amaninzi oba abantu bangenza into ezininzi for uba bakwazi ukufumana umsebenzi. Sinomdla kuloo nto ke thina.
Please do follow us on our social media platforms. We are available on Twitter, Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. The handles are popping up on the screens on the left and right. We are at ILITHA Telecoms. Please do engage. Please do see the great work that we'll continue to do, and tell your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let us be known, make us known, and let the great work that started here continue right through into the rest of the country.